This video is about idioms on food. Trust me, all the idioms that are written on the board have foot in them, the word foot in them, and they are very popular. So you better learn the meanings of the words and start inculcating in your daily conversation. The first is my foot. Now, when do we use my foot idiom? This is an expression of belief. When you have trust issues or when you do not trust the other person, okay, or when you take time to realize, or when you take time to accept the truth, okay, whatever sentence, whatever in context my foot is used, this idiom is used, it could be it could be true also, the sentences could be true also, and the sentences could be fake also. For instance, if I tell you, if somebody comes across to me and says that I never tell lies. So is it possible for human beings to not tell lies? I feel my foot. The person is lying when he says that I never lie. Or let's take one more example. That you get to know that an acquaintance of yours who was a classmate of yours. At the time he was he was not that much good in studies, and he was kind of a backbencher. And later on you get to know that that particular chap is a multi-millionaire. He's very successful in his life. So there is a sense of disbelief, and then you can use the idiom my foot, I don't believe. Okay, whenever there is an expression of disbelief, whenever you do not trust, or whenever you find it next to impossible to accept, okay, then you use this idiom my foot. Okay, my foot, I don't accept that a person has never eaten any ice cream. See, here over here I just while I'm giving you the meaning, I instantly make sentences. It is not that I prepare in advance. No. In the same way, you can also do it just by knowing the meaning of the idioms, by understanding that what does this medium actually mean. You can very easily inculcate, and you can very easily say these idioms. The next one is to put one's foot in it. Now, to put one's foot in it is, again, this idiom is used in a kind of situation when a remark of yours creates embarrassment. Okay, let me write the meaning first. When there is a sense of embarrassment. Okay, by someone's remark. Okay, for instance, if I tell you that you put a foot in it by telling Mrs. Verma that you really admire her husband. Why? I've put a foot in it because they are no more together. They recently got divorced. Or you admire someone, you are at a party, and you tell someone that I really like your hair. And later on you get to realize, you get to know that the person is wearing a wig. So in that situation, what is happening is I have put a foot in it. Okay, when you create a sense of when there is a embarrassment, okay, then in that cases we say this idiom to put one's foot in it. Okay, I put a foot in it by asking or telling Mrs. Verma that I really admire her husband. Okay. Next idiom is to shoot oneself in foot. Just by reading the idiom, you will, you might be getting a slightest idea as to what this idiom is all about. To shoot oneself in foot is when you are, you kind of fail, or you kind of are unable to mark an expression. Okay, to mark an impression because of your incompetence. Because of your incompetence. So and so politician, I'm giving you an example with this idiom. XYZ politician shot himself in his foot as he was unable to convince his fellow leaders about the plan or about whatever schemes he was thinking in his mind. So he was unable to, he shot himself in foot. And mind you, I have told you that you can make changes, and there are changes, there are slight changes. You can change the idiom. Okay, like over here, it is like to shoot oneself in the foot. But the sentence that I gave you, what did I just say? I said that the minister or XYZ leader, he shot himself in his foot by not being able to convince his leaders, fellow party leaders, about the plan. Okay. Next is to put one's foot down. Now, when you say that you are putting your foot down, or she put her foot down, is when you disapprove of something. Okay? When you disapprove. Now, this disapproval could be, it could be a marriage proposal, or it could be any business plans, or it could be any schemes or plans, whatever. Okay? Basically, you are disapproving. You are at a higher authority. And I'm not talking about at workplace. You can use this idiom. Like, for instance, if I tell you that when my 16-year-old son came to me and said that he wants to start a business with his friend, then what did I do? I put my foot down by saying, no, you can't do it. You are just 16. You need to complete your studies first. Okay? So what did I do? I put my foot down by disapproving, by telling my son that no, you can't do this. Okay? When you disapprove someone's plan, okay, then you say to put one's foot down. Next is to have foot in both the camps. By this idiom, it is basically implicates, or it basically tells that you cannot sail in both the ships or in both the boats at one time. Okay? At single time, you can only do one thing. Or out of two options, if there are two options, you cannot have both the options. You have to choose, you have to opt to one. Let me write the meaning of this idiom, and then I will give you examples with it. To have foot in both camps, when you have to make a choice. Okay? You can't be sailing both the boats. Okay? Make a choice. If I say you to have foot in both camps, you can't have foot in both camps, as you have to decide to get admission in one school. There is a person, he has two options, and he wants to, the person is liking both the schools, but now it's high time, he can't have his foot in both the camps. He has to make a choice, he has to make a decision. So he has to opt for one single school, and then he can continue with his studies or whatever. Okay, moving to next idiom, to have or to get a foot in the door. Now this simply means, just by reading it, the idiom will get, you will feel that somebody has kept his foot in the door. No, this idiom means when you are able to make a mark, or you are being successful in the business despite many competitors. For instance, if I tell you that now I have so many subscribers on my YouTube channel, I will be able to make a foot in the door, or despite I will be able to make a foot in China, as no matter how many competitors are there. Okay? To start on the wrong foot. This simply means when you make an error in the beginning. And this idiom can be used in relationships or at office. For instance, if I tell you that he started on the wrong foot by directly asking the girl that how many exes does she had in the past. Okay? Or if I give you example at workplace that Sohan started on the wrong foot as he asked for 10 days leave on the day of his joining. So what impression will his boss have? Wrong impression. Okay? Sohan started on the wrong foot by asking for leave on the day of joining. Fine? Footloose and fancy free. This idiom is used for people who have no romantic ties. Okay? Like people who are saints. Okay? They are footloose and fancy free people. They have nothing to do with they are least bothered about what is happening in the world. They are least bothered about the worldly pleasures. Fine. So, such people are footloose and fancy free people. They have no romantic ties, no connections with anyone. The next one is to follow in one's footsteps. This is simple and you must have heard also. When you admire someone and want to be like that person, okay? Like often the sons of the family, they are asked by the relatives and by their neighbors that your father is so successful. Don't you want to follow in his footsteps or do you want to follow on his footsteps? ठीक है, जैसे कि आपके पिताजी सक्सेसफुल हैं, क्या आप भी वैसे सक्सेसफुल होना चाहेंगे जैसे वो काम कर रहे हैं? The way he is doing, the way he is working, will you want to be like that person? Be like your father? Simple सा वही है, to follow in one's footsteps. Okay, जरूरी नहीं है, it is not necessary that example of father is given. It could be one can take example of anyone. Okay. The last one is with one foot in the grave. When a person is very aged, and is almost about to die. Maybe the person is in 80s, 90s, maybe above 90. So for such person we say that the person has, for instance, there's a woman who keeps pinpointing, who keeps saying bad things about people. So we can say that the woman has her foot in the grave, still she never misses an opportunity to embarrass other people. Okay? Let me write it. Okay? This woman has her foot in the grave, but boy, she never misses a chance to embarrass others. Fine? So these were the idioms on foot. Write down in the comment section which one was your favorite. Thank you for being with me and watching my video.